That's right.
Now I just have an upwards inflection.
How's that novel of yours coming along?
How's that?
Little protagonist and antagonist action.
First we got
little liquid hero versus liquid shell. Little team kill to ramp up the story for the WildCards and playoffs. Oh, okay, it was really good.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that is good.
In the bottom right corner from Team Liquid, it is Sheth. One of the nice guys in esports, that's what people say. Also one of the funniest trolls in esports. Really likes Mafia. Fun fact.
He's actually really good at Mafia.
Yeah, because he's such a troll. Like, he's able to mask his emotions so well that you can't tell. Like, you can't tell if he's a villager or if he's the Mafia, or he's a villager who wants to support the Mafia, and he just likes to disrupt stuff. Like, Sheth, it's always a fun game with him. In fact, he's mixing it up already. Look what he's doing, Andre.
Wow, 10 pull. Every single time we play together, thankfully, me and him have not had to lie to each other. I swear, the day we actually lie to each other in Mafia is going to be a sad day. So far, we've both been villagers when we play Mafia, and we do an exceptional job every single time. Or at least he does an exceptional job. He is like the guru of Mafia. Let me tell you, this guy is so good at it.
I think so too, but also a guy that's really good at StarCraft in general. Yeah. And life. It's Hero.
I hope there's a Mafia for NASL Season 4 Finals, by the way. Team Liquid normally does a great job with that.
Yeah. Who usually hosts that? Is it Treehugger or is it Hopvid? Like, they usually like take turns rotating, but I do know Team Liquid guys are usually in charge of that. Hopefully they can. Of course, Team Liquid will be providing a lot of coverage. Very excited.
Whenever I'm at an event, I always try to hang out with Team Liquid guys and play some Mafia. It is like one of the most fun things to do ever. Kid you not.
Well, hang out with me, Andre.
Yeah, that's right. How about we hang out together at Mafia? How cool would that be, Frodan? It's like the best of all worlds.
That's how you tell your girlfriend, why don't we spend time together playing StarCraft? She's like, oh, that's not what I had in mind when you said that type of date.
She wants to learn, man.
I know, but it's just funny when you're initially dating a girl. It's like, that's just like, I want to show you.
We can 2v2.
Yeah. It's like, let's go watch a movie, and you're watching cutscenes from the campaign.
Yeah. And this is the part
not what I had in mind.
Where Kerrigan betrays.
Oh, Sheth does get denied. Again, Hero finishing off that wall just in the nick of time. Nah, this pylon is getting kind of low. Hero might have to dive a little bit further back. Pulling some probes. Very nice. Might cancel that pylon. He will. And go for the meet surround. Zerglings. It's a trap.
Don't do it. Nice micro. My goodness.
Nice. Rotating the weak ones out.
Yeah, this is...
no probes
Still
lost.
does not lose a probe. It's going to happen now.
He's lost a few, but man,
and
that was really well done.
Might get cut off. Nope. And, I mean, this is still an immense amount of mining time that he's losing right here.
Yeah.
The 4 Zerglings will have to initiate against these probes pretty soon, though. I mean, he's going to get cornered. But I love what he's doing, just stalling as much as possible. A good micro should actually enable 0 probe losses, which, of course, just happened. 0 probe losses, 3 Zergling kills. Very nicely done. Frodan, what do you think? Was that worth it?
Okay, so he did lose three workers. And he did finagle around with that Zergling for about a minute and a half. So, Andre, with 12 probes, 40 minerals a minute, times 12 is 480, right?
Yeah.
That's 720 minerals lost. But Sheth also sacrificed a good amount of workers. He's only on 21. I still think Hero's in an okay spot.
I love how you mentioned the 720 minerals. That's exactly right. Great job, Frodan.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Man, our math is like 10 times of Ben's.
Oh, I think I've gotten way better at math than I ever have at school while casting with Gretorp.
Hey, man.
Fun
fact,
that's
what StarCraft
Gretorp
does.
makes me do derivative problems of like minerals over gas divided by time.
Cotangents are probably one of the most important things you could possibly learn to enable your StarCraft play.
Too deep. I remember the first time in math you found out you can invert stuff, and that blew my mind. Like, whoa. You can like just switch the numerator and denominator and just like do the same thing. And like, yeah. It's like just like you can switch your spoon to your left hand. I'm like, whoa, wait. You ever try that? Like eat chopsticks with your left hand? It's actually really crazy. Try playing StarCraft with your left hand and the mouse. And
nope, not gonna do it, Frodan. It's a trap.
That'll be what we do for next subscriber
I
Saturday.
don't want to go back to Gold League.
You were in Gold League once upon a time, Andre? I find that
No.
hard to believe.
Well, I guess when Gold was the best.
Was it? I thought Plat was the best at one point.
Platinum was the best, but it was like Grandmasters. You had to like get seeded into there after like you did a
Oh, right,
ton
kind of like
gold
GM.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, Sheth does still have one Zergling alive and keeping it scouting. That's still very annoying for Hero, but he does have the Robo at the bottom of the ramp, or at the top of the ramp of his natural, rather. Whirlwind is just a massive, massive map. It's starting to get to the point where people are realizing how ridiculously massive it is, and you can just pretty much get away with anything. It's like the new Metropolis in a way. People feel like the game starts at 3 base apiece. That's how safe it is generally. Ooh, nice escape there with the Zealot.
Nope. He just needed one more.
What are your thoughts on Whirlwind, Andre?
Yeah, it's gigantic, man. There's so many expansions to this map. They're all spread out. It makes Mutas exceptionally good in ZVP. Of course, your question is, how do you get to Mutas? How do you do it safely? How can you actually take map control and go to Mutas? That's something hard, but as actually you were explaining to me, Hyun, probably the most innovative player to actually tech
Hyun.
up into Mutas. I think any one of his builds would work. I think anything Hyun does ever would work.
Well, I don't know about that. He has lost a few games in the past, but I really like Hyun, and it's not just because it's because I've been watching him since like the Playham days a year and a half ago, when he was, or not a year, sorry, about a year ago when he was like first converting from Brood War, and everyone's like, man, this guy's gonna be so good, and then everyone kind of fell off of him because they kind of said, he's not doing immediate results like Flash. Because Flash basically converted and started having immediate results, or Rain. But Hyun is still an extremely good Brood War pro gamer that's coming over, and I expect the best of him, as you'll see him later in the playoffs next week. Another Sentry load up from Hero. He is warping in some Zealots. I wonder how he's going to, I guess, facilitate this pressure. He can send Zealots one direction and then drop Sentries in another, but the ramps are pretty wide in Whirlwind. It's very tough to get a good position unless you get into the main, Andre.
6 gateways yet again. And it looks like he's just going to mount this attack over here. Now, where does he actually go? You can actually attack into the 3rd base and use that as a diversion for your sentries. He very well could do that. And it looks like he's just taking out creep tumors. I love this type of play. Just a very innovative way to do it. Now, I love the sentries, really hiding them until the very end. Now, he can use this to actually pin the queen and also like make these sort of barriers to let the Zealots really, really do their damage. This particular attack punishes Sheth style. The no roach style is actually such a hard thing to stop every single attack.
Yeah.
And this is one of the builds that actually punishes this so very hard.
Hero does have a probe and an immortal that lets all the Zerglings in. That's very annoying. Hero should be able to stabilize back at home, but that's just inconvenient. It could have been much easier while he focused on everything. But meanwhile, Sheth, does he even have anything to really deal with this drop in the main? The sentries can just force field the ramp and have the Zealots have nice alone time with the drones. More warp-ins into the main instead of the expansion. I bet Hero would have loved it if he went the other way.
Yeah, not looking too good for Sheth as he has his 3rd base cleaned up already. And just having to stay at home in defense of this sentry drop, sentry pin, really. So this Warp Prism and the 2 sentries, that's what they are. They're a pin. They're keeping all these units inside the base, and it basically gives Hero the ability to position as best as he wants to. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Oh, nice. Force field is not just to kill not to really kill units, but to kill the infestation pit. Nicely done. He even saves a couple sentries, and Hero able to really just trade minerals out for tech and time.
Yeah, that's very worthwhile. Now look at this. Sheth, forced to actually do something like this. He has an expansion in the top middle location. That's actually really intelligent. You know you're behind. You need to come back somehow. How are you going to do that? Well, one of the possible options is to get a ninja expansion. He's already taken his 3rd base in the middle bottoms, but that's a really big problem because that middle center that center bottom expansion is closest to your opponent. So that's actually going to spell disaster. When this attack comes out, it's actually going to be in the crosshairs of this initial push.
So we do see that Hero is still on 2 base. He wants to get a 3rd base. he has definitely the resources and even the probe count. He's at 62, so he can have a nice saturation across all three if he spreads it out. Big warp into the main. He's just going to stall for time, getting maybe another force field on top of the ramp. Hero gets it, and the Infestors want to also drop Infested Terrans, and Hero might have to get out there, but a fungal lands on everything. Very well done. But meanwhile, he's targeting down the Evo chambers and making sure that there's no upgrades. This is really nice. This is kind of like when Terran drops Protoss and kills the Forges and just keeps really stalling for time.
Yeah, and in this matchup as well, that is a huge, gigantic, monumental advantage to Hero, as he's going to continue getting his upgrades, +3 on the way. Colossus, of course, to deal with that mass army, whether it be Infested Terrans, Zerglings, Roaches. He's going to be able to deal with that a little bit better. Now, I feel like Hero still is in a massive advantage. Of course, he never really lost it. But he does need to be careful. I mean, one slight mistake where he sends like right now. If he attacks right now, he's actually in a position where he could potentially lose it. He needs to gain a couple more Colossus in order for him to really push out and take decisive advantages.
Yeah, just enough to deal with the Zerglings. It's enough to kind of really force the Infestors in a tough position to not instantly poke forward. That's kind of what the Colossus does, especially against Infestor Ling. But the Roaches, I mean, Sheth doesn't really have that good upgrades because he keeps getting his Evo Chamber sniped. Yeah. And overall, I think Hero's great. I mean, he already has +3 done. Like, so Hero's at optimal strength with his army. Just has to add on a bunch of gateways, production, start amping up his ability to just crank out units, and he'll be sitting very nicely.
And it's unfortunate. Hero has like a false sense of security because he thinks he's up against just 3 base, so he's saying, okay, max 200, 200, I'm fine. But of course, that 4th base is actually going to complicate a little bit. Now, this is only minerals so far. He wants to get those gases on ASAP, but that's not until Hive Tech. For now, he wants to put on the pressure. It's just really unfortunate. Again, maxed. He has no way to actually deal with those Colossus. He needs to trade out a couple of units, else he's in a lot of trouble because Corruptors are a necessity against Colossus.
Corruptors and anything really that can hit air from a very safe distance. Ooh, nice blink here from Hero to bait it out, but the concave is very nice for Zerg if it can get the full surround.
Oh my
Hero
gosh.
may have bitten off way more than he can chew, trying to retreat to the second Colossus. Zerglings are chewing out everything. Oh, Hero dropping Force Deals very haphazardly, trying to get into a great spot. But he does manage to disengage. Sheth able to recognize an opportunity. If he was able to land a fungal, that was completely different story.
Absolutely perfect, though. Burned all the force shields. Sheth is in a great position. Traded out his Zerglings because he needed to. Needed to get room for those Corruptors. Now, I have to say, the micro from both those players was exceptional. Sheth with getting the flank, and on top of that, Hero with denying that flank. That was really, really cool play from Hero. And every single time, I counted it 4 times, he was able to actually dish out some damage, kill all the Zerglings, and really inhibit Sheth from making that contact, making that blow. So right now, Sheth probably needs to evacuate the 3rd base, really can't defend this, wait for the Corruptors to come up here.
And by evacuate, you mean transfer more drones, right? Because that's exactly what he does. Yeah. Hero could also set up a really strong concave if he's able to blink and avoid the fungals. But there's a lot of Corruptors also ready to engage. Oh, the force fields block out. Great job by Hero. 3 Colossus doing massive damage. Oh, needs to start dealing with some of the Infested Terrans as well. They can do great amount of DPS. But look at how much damage +3 does. Sheth still has a lot of Roaches, but the Warpin is just so strong.
There's not a lot of Corruptors, a ton of Stalkers in this composition, dissimilar to the Ohana game. This is why the Corruptors just evaporated this game around. That's why you cannot actually engage against this. The drones getting cleared up. Everything is going well for Hero. Sheth needed more Corruptors in that last engagement, but I guess he underestimated his opponent's force. Now he sees how many Stalkers there are, and he's like, wow, I should not have done that attack. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, Hero picked a phenomenal angle to attack. Now also using a proxy pawn to put Zealous pressuring what Sheth's now 3rd base is. Hero also pushing right outside the 2nd. Sheth does have a few Spine Crawlers, but this is way more than he can ever hope to imagine. There's a lot of Blink Stalkers. He even has a +1 armor and another War Prism on the way. Hero just has to section off this last group of units, and game 2 will be his.
That's right. Corruptors are out, but they just cannot contact with those Colossus yet. Infested Terrans are going to spew out as much as they can. but you know what? It's too much. GG gets called out, Sheth will tap out, and Hero goes up 2-0 in this best of 5.
Such a great amount of positioning. Hero had one mistake that he kind of really salvaged incredibly.
Oh, yeah.
Like he saved the Colossus, saved the Sentries, he even saved the Immortals. And in that kind of situation, like Sheth baited out perfectly, just like you said, but great moves overall. You can't say that Hero just completely dominated, because at one point it looked like Sheth was able to really roll his army if he got the fungals off.
Yeah, I felt like Sheth, if he just waited one more minute, which is probably exchanging that third base in the bottom middle, which is pretty much an expendable base. When you build it in that bottom middle position, you don't actually expect to keep it because of how close it is.
It's really
close. Yeah, to the natural of your opponent's base. So give that up. Wait until you have another round of units, which is another round of Corruptors. You can isolate those Colossus and easily just pave the way for victory with Infested Terrans. I mean, Infested Terrans cannot be cleaned up that fast because you don't have that AoE, and from there you have a winning line. But Clutch, what did you think about that game? Because I know you were on the sideline watching it very, very not patiently, but you're
intently.
Watching it.
Intently and patiently. Well, one of the clutch moments in that game was definitely
this guy
was definitely the snipe tech moment that Hero was able to pull off. Now, a lot of times when you're able to drop something in the base of your opponent, you're like, I made it! Now what do I do? You know, do I go for the mineral line? Do I try to get as many drones as possible? Do I go for something else? Hero was very tactical in taking down that infestation pit and was able to pull out. And so that delayed the infestors, and that was a small victory, but I believed helped to snowball the victory for Hero in the end.
Well, I love snowballs and I love victories. Clutch summed it up perfectly, guys.
Do you know what I really like? The snowballs from Hostess.
Oh, well, not anymore.
They're gone.
They're gone. GG.
Guys, on eBay, there were some boxes that were selling for $120.
That's right. Didn't you buy some?
$120. I bought them from the store, bro.
Oh.
I'm not buying them from eBay. Because guess what? Nobody knew the price point. They're now like $10. So those people that bought 3 boxes at $360,
they just have to wait. They just have to wait.
They feel like giant bimbos right now.
Well, that's well, you don't want to be a bimbo. You know what would be a bimbo move? To miss the NASL Season 4 Finals. You guys want to be there? Check it out. It's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be December 8th to 9th. It's in Long Beach, a very nice area. It's going to be close to the airport, too. And Long Beach is a nice place. It's really close to Laguna Beach, where you can go and surf. You can hang out with Morgan. It's much closer than some of the beaches around here. I don't really think there's a beach around Rancho Cucamonga.
You can hang out with Lauren. She surfs too.
That's right. I surf too. Chance also probably surfs. I'll have to double check with Chance, as he's currently power napping.
Oh, power.
He powerboards. Chance powerboards. You can come powerboard with me and Chance, and maybe sip on some pina colada. We also want to thank iBuyPower, the PC company that powers our broadcast each and every day of the week. Check out all of their deals. I'm sure they have Black Friday deals going on in 2 days. So check them out, iBuyPower.com. We'll be back with game number 3 between Hero and Sheth. Will Hero go for the sweep, or will Sheth will start the comeback? We'll find out right after this break.